It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers review. Today we're taking a look at the Basic Figures Wave 3. These were recently released, and in fact, most of these are kind of spoilers for the series itself, as it's currently have aired in North America, as this wave has been hitting online and in stores now before the September 14th premiere date of the fall batch of episodes for Beast Morphers. So at the time of this video, while I may or may not know things coming up in the future, I'm not going to provide any plot spoilers in this review. I'm keeping things strictly on the toys, so do not worry. I'm not going to talk about anything that's come out internationally or overseas or whatever. I'm going to keep any information I have to myself. This will be a perfectly spoiler-free review from the perspective of the series. In terms of toys, yes, the toys here will spoil stuff for the show, so keep that in mind just as a general thing, but going into this is the toys is pretty much this is the toys, and I'm not going to say anything that we don't already know as of episode 8 of Beast Morphers. So that is that, and as we continue, that's going to be the case for this batch of figures. Future things all depends on when they come out. So let's begin. So here we have the Red Ranger and Red Fury mode. Now this figure is quite cool because it's a North American exclusive power-up form, and from the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, we do know this is appearing in the series itself. We also know that from leaked set pics, but you know, specifically the Comic-Con trailer. Now Red Fury mode, it kind of seems like it's a precursor to Go Busters' powered custom form, which we also know we're getting here next year for Season 2. So it's kind of like a neat little prototype version of that. As you can see, there's some extra armor on the arms, the new chest armor, which actually is a separate piece on this figure, which surprised me. Usually the basic figures will just mold things directly on, but because of the shoulder pads, it's actually a separate piece on top of it, which is pretty nice. And he's got extra leg armor as well. I really like the look of this form. I like what we've seen of it in the trailer, so hopefully it's as cool in show as the look of it is. So really cool. Comparing it just straight up to basic Beast Morphers Red, the helmet's the same. They didn't do any changes there, but you do see that you got the same undersuit, but you don't have the same harnesses. You got instead the new chest armor, and you can see the legs are totally different because of all the extra armor, and the arms are actually a little bit different too. So it's pretty neat. Articulation-wise, same as the other basic figures. I'm just going to kind of show it more so than describe it, just because I've already done this this little trend a few times in the past. So there's that. He does come with two weapons, specifically being the Cheetah Saber. This is a thing we've had as a roleplay toy, but we haven't seen any pictures of it in the series itself. The shot of the Fury mode we got actually showed him with two of the Cheetah Claws. So if that is the case and he doesn't use the Saber in the series, I kind of would have liked a second Cheetah Claw. Though it would have been hard to fit it over the Morpher. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But yeah, this Cheetah Saber is kind of interesting because it's in the toy line as both a roleplay and on this figure, but haven't seen any confirmation of it being in the show yet. So, of course, all that aside, the other accessory he comes with is, of course, the Red Fury mode Morph X key. Now this can clip to his arm in place of the Cheetah shield. It can't clip over the Morpher very well, but I'm just not going to bother showing that. I've shown it in the past. I feel like it's just kind of ends up scratching the figure a bit because of the nature of this clip. So you do have that option to clip it on. You do also flip it out. It could be a giant blade. I'm just going to use it as a key. So we'll see if any cool sounds come out of this. This didn't quite turn on right. There we go. So we'll just insert the key.
Unreal! Yeah, we clocked it. Unreal! Rangers, it's go time. Let's go! Unleash the beasts! Unreal!
So I guess it's we clocked it and Unreal are the two sounds, which for being a power-up key, not gonna lie, kind of underwhelmed. I thought we'd at least get something like, Red Ranger, Red Fury mode or something like that, but instead we kind of just get, a couple new catchphrases. So key's a little underwhelming, but the figure's pretty nice. This is something that I'm not entirely positive we'll see in the Lightning Collection. I guess it all depends. I kind of hope it does because I do like this look. And I think it would be a cool figure, plus a great way to give Beast Morphers Red some more accessories. As you could swap, you know, the Cheetah Claw or the Saber onto the basic from here, so the same for the Lightning. So anyways, that's kind of the Beast Morphers Red Fury. I really need to turn that Morpher off so it doesn't just power down while I'm talking. So that's the Red Ranger Red Fury mode. So here's the Beast Morphers Gold Ranger. Now this is quite interesting. He did come out before the Lightning Collection Gold Ranger, but I got him after. So I actually kind of have a different perspective on this figure, which is pretty cool. So basically, you know, same articulation as usual. Not gonna go super nuts. It's just, you know, articulation, basic stuff. But what really impressed me with this figure is that despite being a basic figure, he has a ton of gold paint. I don't really see anything missing much. I think the only thing is that the shoulder harness is a black plastic. I think it's supposed to be more of a silver / gray. Just based on the way the suit is in the series. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to see, you know, a very nice basic figure here. And yeah, bringing it in the Lightning Collection. You can see that if you're going just for basics, you're still getting a really nice looking Gold Ranger. Like, nothing has been really cheaped out in that regard. But if you are going Lightning, you know, basic's not going to have anything that you don't have in Lightning. So overall, I do like that. So, you know, look at that. It's pretty impressive that you have two different figures at two different price points that both look nice. Obviously, the Lightning is going to look a little bit more show accurate. It's going to have more articulation, a couple more accessories, and maybe some more details like the transport pod there. But, you know, still the basic figure is really impressive for its price point. I am really impressed by that. So he does come with two accessories, that being his Striker Morpher, much like the Lightning Collection did. So let's do a little comparison. So the Striker Morpher is actually a little bit bigger on the basic. That's probably just for, you know, kid-sized hands. It doesn't have a trigger on the basic one. So you got that going on. And of course the basic is lacking the visor paint, which is fine. It's not a super big deal overall. And then we also get the Striker Saber, which actually is, you know, again, a little bigger than the Lightning one. A little bit longer too, but it is missing some of that extra paint detail. But, you know, that's not too big of a deal. I think the Lightning ones are a bit better in proportion. The basic ones are a little bit more exaggerated just to make it more fun to play with. And that's kind of the point with basic figures. Since they are aimed at the kids demographic, while collectors can still enjoy them, they are meant for kids. But even then, these are really great figures for kids figures. Usually this kind of, you know, attention and detail only goes into something like a collector's figure. So of course we also have the Morph X key for Beast Morphers Gold, Mantis DNA or whatever. This normally would go inside the Striker Morpher, but the Striker Morpher toy does not have a key slot, so we're going to use it in the Beast X Morpher. So let's do that.
Phenomenal! Gold Ranger power!
So that's the two phrases with him. It actually does kind of sound like... I just dropped the Morpher. It does kind of sound like Nate, actually. I'm actually pretty impressed. I don't want to put this on here because I don't want to scratch the gold paint. I know it's a little paranoid, but, you know, it's a thing. So, it does actually sound kind of like Nate, which I think is really nice, which does show a little bit of forethought, but I think in general the Beast X Morpher voices are kind of like, this is the style of voice we're going for, more so than the actual actors, because the toy was in production way before the show was. So hopefully, like, you know, with the next series Hasbro does, there's a little bit more pre-planning and they can get kind of the stuff locked down a little sooner and give us maybe some actual actor voices in the Morpher. That would be pretty awesome. So that's the Beast Morphers Gold Ranger. So here is the Beast Morphers Silver Ranger. Now this guy is pretty awesome in the series for what little we've seen of him. So I'm really happy to have him as a figure. I'm also happy just because I am a Stagbuster fan from Go Busters, and he never got a figure. So this is pretty nice, especially since we haven't gotten the Lightning Collection version of this guy, though I'm sure it's happening. Same articulation as always, except the one surprising thing is that they actually pinned the shoulder pads on the bicep, so that way you don't lose any shoulder articulation. Actually, it works better on this side, like this. You can see you don't lose any movement, which is wonderful. So that's pretty awesome. I am pretty happy about the range of movements on these guys. So that's pretty cool. I really do like the design overall. Of course, he comes with the Striker Morpher, which, of course, is his Morpher and such. So you got that. Same piece as the Gold Ranger. And then he comes with the Stag Claw. So the Stag Claw weapon is pretty cool. I do like it. But it's not something that was in Go Busters, and it's not something that has a roleplay toy in the line currently. So I'm not sure if it's going to appear in the series or not. I feel like this is almost kind of like the Dark Cheeto Blaster that Blaze comes with. Now, there is a chance it will show up in the show, just because of the nature of Beast Morphers having a lot of original footage. But I have absolutely no idea if it's going to be in the series at all. If not, it does give him a little bit of variety. Though, with the amount that he used the Striker Saber in conjunction with Gold, would have been nice to see that. But luckily, the Steel figure for his robot mode comes with a Striker Saber as well, so that'll be pretty nice to have. And of course, here's the key, which, I don't know, the shape's kind of weird for what's supposed to be a beetle, but we'll get that around. That's one of the tighter keys I've gotten. I do like how it's not a silver keyblade, but like this kind of blue, which is this accent color. I think that looks really nice. So let's turn this on and get this going. If I could line it up right. Come on.
I'm half human, half robot, and totally awesome. Beast Morphers, let's go!
So that sounds like the dialogue is correct, like the actual Ryan writing is correct for Steel, but he doesn't have that robotic of a voice in the series itself. So, you know, that's just kind of one of those, again, one of those other things where it's like, oh, this is definitely recorded off ideas and not the final product, because of the nature of TV and film production compared to toy and electronics programming. So it is what it is. I do like this figure a lot, and yeah, that actually completes our main team of Rangers. Before we do a big old group shot, let's go grab the other two villains that are in this wave. So first up, we have a figure that is a spoiler, just purely based off of his existence. It's Evox. This is something that, yes, going into this review, there's no way I can dodge around the fact that this is a figure named Evox. For those that know the series, you can kind of piece 2 and 2 together. For those that know Go Busters, you can piece 3, 2, and 1 together and make 5. But you got that going on. And yes, I did say 3, 2, and 1 together make 5. I did that on purpose because we're not entirely sure the whole story here. But this figure is labeled as Evox. This figure is based off of Messia's final form from Go Buster. So, yeah. Anyways, really cool looking figure. I really like the look of him. He is a very bright, plasticky yellow. I noticed the villains don't get as much paint as the Rangers. His whole staff here is unpainted, but it looks good. I don't really have a problem with it. His articulation's kind of garbage, though. He's got kind of head movement, but because of these back things, which, by the way, very nicely detailed back sculpt, but because of the back things, his head doesn't turn very well. His shoulders barely move out. His elbows barely move and rotate. His hips move forward, and luckily this moves out of the way, but you can't get any backward motion with that thing. And then the knees bend, and they just kind of swivel, but they really don't do anything significant. And also the knees are super, like this one's fine on mine, aside from the plastics coming up. This one's just super loose. So he's a cool looking figure. He's menacing and imposing, but don't expect to get any, dynamic poses out of him. He does come with this key. I do really like the look of this key. It's got kind of a snake vibe to it, which is really nice. Of course, he's got a green blade for being a villain. So bring in good old Morpher. Oops.
Nothing can stop me. The Morphex is mine! Nothing can stop me.
So he just replays that same, Scrozzle-esque clip of the Morphex is mine, but the more important one is that nothing can stop me with a giant snake hiss to it. So that's pretty neat. They're having fun in the recording booth for that toy, but yeah, only one new line in the Morphex key, which makes sense. He's a villain. He doesn't have to have a ton of stuff. And it doesn't really spoil anything. So yeah, Evox here. Spoiler because of his existence, but something cool to look forward to. So here we have our first monster of the week, Tron, who hasn't debuted yet. Oh, really should have, but, Nickelodeon and stuff. This figure's awesome. I think it's probably my favorite figure of the wave in general. One of my favorites of the line. I love Monster of the Week costumes when they get figures like this. It's the only one we've gotten so far, which is a little bit of a step down from Bandai, but it is Hasbro's first line, so I'm hoping we see more of these next year. But this guy is awesome. He's got, you know, all these different drills. He's really well painted. Painted better than Man of America's monsters. This piece here is actually a separate piece that can come off his wrist. I think it's so you can clip the Morphex key on, because there is no place to clip it over here. But, you know, overall, I do like that. It's a really cool piece. His articulation also kind of sucks. This is the one problem I'm having with these figures right now. The Morpher, with these at least, his shoulders get out of the way. So he does have some range of movement in the arms, but again, the legs are only forward, a little bit back, but they don't do any out. And the knees, they do rotate, but again, they don't really, they're just there for stability, it seems. But you can get him some really cool, slightly dynamic poses. I actually do more with him than Evox. So Drilltron's actually really cool. I do really like him. His key is super loose, though. So loose it fell out of my hand. Yeah, this thing is wobbly. You can kind of see what I mean. There's no friction to it. But he does have a line in the Morpher. I can line it up because the key's so wobbly.
I'll drill right through you. Prepare to lose, Rangers.
So he actually has two lines. I thought he only had one, because Evox only had one, but yeah, no, this guy's got more lines than the big bad, so good job, Drilltron. So I really like him, I really do, and I hope we see more Monsters of the Week next year. If not, I'm not entirely certain how many more basic figures I'm going to be buying. While I do like the basic Rangers, the Lightning Collection Rangers are pretty much a guarantee at this point. But Monsters of the Week can kind of tip me into a different direction. This guy's awesome. Like, if we get more figures like this, I definitely... Oh, it's Drill's move. Sweet. Okay, yeah. Knowing from Go Busters, of course, I didn't even notice this, but these tilt forward. I was just like, this one looked a little crooked, and I was like, is that on a swivel? And I was like, yeah, it was. Sweet. So he's got that going on for him. I actually don't know. Is that supposed to be out like that, or are they supposed to be forward and they just moved them for the packaging? I gotta check the box art now, because now I'm not so sure. So taking a look at the card art, here's Evox, looking really dang menacing. I love this. Great stuff. Here's Drilltron, and yes, the things are supposed to be forward. I didn't even realize that they did that to fit them in the packaging, but that's an extra articulation point. These can actually move. So that's pretty awesome. I love discovering things on camera like that. So you got that. Here is Beast Morphers Silver. Here's Beast Morphers Gold. Yes, yes, yes. I know someone's going to leave a comment if I don't mention it. He does show the Striker Saber here, and he doesn't come with one. Yeah. Clearly there's not a, this is what the figure comes with to the artist. The artist is just getting to do what they do, and what they do is awesome because there's Beast Morphers Gold, and then here's the Red Fury mode, which, you know, he has the saber, so that's pretty awesome. I really like this packaging art. I love how it's easy to cut. Like, the plastic isn't too thick, so you can actually cut the line down here and around the edge. As you can see, I still have like an edging of plastic. That's how I can keep the art intact. Otherwise, it's glued here, so this would just tear through Evox's face. You don't care about that sort of stuff, by all means, but they tape one flap, so you cut one flap, you cut along the bottom, cut along the side, and then cut along the top, and then it comes off, and then you just have this nice art piece. So these are really cool. I do really like that each packaging, or each figure has their own distinctive packaging. A lot of basic lines will do like, oh, we'll put like the main heroes on their own cards, but then the villains will all be on like the same cards, villains and allies and stuff. So really, really nice stuff. So overall, Wave 3 of the Beast Morphers basic figures is really solid. I pretty much like every figure, and overall I'm pretty happy with them. Definitely recommended for those collecting the basic line. Like I said, most likely all three of these Rangers are coming out in Lightning, so keep that in mind throughout your collecting journeys. These are hitting stores now. I did find these at Target. They should be popping up at Walmarts and Targets and other stores soon, so keep an eye out. And yeah, kind of sucks that this wave has got a lot of spoilery stuff to it that didn't get to make it out before the show got to debut it properly, just because of various schedules. So what can you say? But overall, this wave makes a great addition to the rest of the line. So that's pretty much the entire Beast Morphers basic lineup so far. Like I said, Steel has just started hitting stores, so I should be getting him hopefully soon, as long as my stores get him. And I'll be doing a review on him. And we'll see what happens in year 2. I definitely want to see Scrozzle. That's my #1 figure. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below in terms of the next year of Beast Morphers basic figures. If we get this many or more next year, that'd be pretty awesome. Some more Monsters of the Week would definitely get me to continue to pick up the line beyond just what I have now. So keep that in mind, Hasbro, if you're listening and already have your toy plans planned out, because that's how production works. But hopefully Scrozzle's down the line, maybe not in the Beast Morphers line, but the year after, we might be able to get to see him. That would be pretty nice if they could make Scrozzle. So we'll see what happens at Toy Fair in February, as that's probably where we'll see the reveal of year 2 of Beast Morphers basic figures. So it does it with this review. Stay tuned for future Power Rangers videos. I just want to make a little announcement. I said I wasn't sure about the Zords, or I might be getting the Zords. I'm not getting the Zords. I decided I got the Go Busters versions. I'm good. They're good. I've looked over them in pictures and videos. I'd say go check them out. Check out reviews first. Always make sure you know what you're buying before you buy it. Also, please don't get upset at other people in other countries that get to see the show before you, and they want to enjoy it and talk about it. Just do your internet due diligence. You can mute words on Twitter. You can mute people on Twitter. That way you don't have to see it. That way you don't have to worry about it. And Beast Morphers will be back soon for U.S. airings. And also be courteous to others if you are in other countries and know that the show hasn't aired everywhere yet. Tag spoilers. Tag Beast Morphers spoilers so that people can, filter it out so they don't get ruined on their experience. So be kind to each other. Be nice. Tag spoilers. Don't get mad at others for being excited about stuff just because you can't get it yourself. And be kind to one to another. Stay tuned for future videos. I have a series of videos on Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, the wonderful miniature-based tabletop game. Since the Phase 2 Kickstarter is coming up, I decided let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of the Phase 1 stuff. So stay tuned for those videos. I hope to have the first one out this week. So we'll see what happens there. It's a little bit different of a venture for me, as it's not toy-based, but it is a tabletop game, and I do like me some tabletop games. So stay tuned for that. Check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for all your Beast Morphers news and more. And check out Ryan Darklaw643 on Twitter at Darklaw643. He does the wonderful animations and thumbnails for those videos, and I appreciate his work, so go check him out. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.